Alright guys, ready? Today we're diving into movie genres. We'll create our first migration, our first console command to connect with the movie database, TMDB API, and fetch real genres from there. We'll also build the first genre model, which we'll use to display genres in the site menu. Let's ride. Web Galaxy. Alright. I think it's clear that a website's data is stored in database tables, but how do we create that database, those tables, and populate them? It all starts with migrations. A migration is a file located in the database migrations folder. The file's name matches the table's purpose. For example, the genres table corresponds to the migration named Create Genres table. And here's our first table. The schema create genres method tells Laravel to create the genres table. The second argument is a callback function that receives the table object, essentially our table. We call its methods, which are named after the types of fields we need. ID, an auto-incrementing unsigned integer. String name, a simple string field. Timestamps, automatically creates two fields, created _@ and updated _@ to track when records are created or updated. We then run the artisan migrate command, and our migration, along with any others, is applied to the database. Don't worry about the other migrations for now. We'll cover those in future lessons. Today we're focusing exclusively on genres. And there you have it. Here's our table, its structure, but for now, no data yet. Now let's take a look at the API documentation. We'll fetch the list of official genres for movies. To use the API, you'll need to register on the site, and they'll give you an API key. Let's test it in Postman. We'll pass the key as a query parameter, hit send, and here they are, our genres. Next, we need to do the same thing, but not in Postman, in our Laravel project. To fetch data from external APIs, it's common practice to create console commands, which you can then run in the terminal. But to save the data we get from the API, we first need to create a model. Models are located in the app models directory. A model acts like a driver for working with data. It allows us to save or retrieve data from the database. The guarded property is set to an empty array, meaning we allow mass assignment for all fields. The movies method defines a relationship to the movies table, but we'll cover that later. Simply by creating a class named after the table, but in singular form, the model will already know how to handle everything. Now the console command. First, we need to save our API key. The .nv file in the project root is meant for this. We'll name the key TMDB _API _key and insert your API key here. Next, referencing the .nv file should be done through the configuration layer. This is good practice. In the config services PHP file, we'll add a TMDB array key, linking API key to our .nv file. Then, in the console command, we'll access it using the config helper. A console command is essentially a class in the app console commands directory that extends Laravel's Illuminate console command. The signature property defines the unique terminal command we'll use to run it. The description property is optional and, frankly, it's often left blank. The thisInfo method outputs text in the console to indicate the command has started. Now for the interesting part, the HTTP facade. This is what we'll use to interact with external APIs. Using the GET method, we'll pass the API key and the language in which we want the data. If the response fails, this error will display the issue in red in the console. If everything works, we'll store the response JSON in the genres variable, which Laravel automatically converts into a PHP array. We'll check if it's not empty and, if valid, loop through it with a for-each to save the data into the database. The genre update or create method ensures that if a genre with the same ID exists, its name will be updated. If not, it will be created. The first array specifies the unique identifier, and the second contains the fields to save. We'll then run the command, confirm everything works, and check the database. It's now populated. All right, coders, that's enough for today. In the next lesson, we'll display our genres on the website. But for now, take care, friends. See you next time.